Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to Econ Recaps. This morning, the Conference Board released its monthly look at US consumer confidence. The September reading came in at 98.7, missing estimates of 103.9 and well below the August reading of 105.6. The poor reading was driven by concerns about the labor market, with participants noting fewer hours worked, slower wage growth, and fewer job openings. The reading initially sent markets down 0.5%.
That would quickly be reversed as Nvidia led the S&P 500 to its 41st all-time high of the year. This came after CEO Jenson Huang announced he was done selling company shares. Nvidia rose nearly 4% today to a closing price of $120.87. In all, Jenson sold about 6 million shares over the last 3 months. Now, this may seem like a lot, but he still owns over 850 million shares between his personal account and various related trusts and partnerships.
Looking to China, the country is adamant about hitting their growth target of 5% outlined earlier this year. So much so that China's central bank has announced a significant reduction in the reserve requirement ratio for banks, a property market support package, and 2 interesting stimulus plans to boost capital markets. Starting with the reserve requirement, the People's Bank of China, or PBOC, will cut the amount of cash that banks must hold on hand by 50 bips, freeing up about 1 trillion yuan, or $142 billion for new lending.
While this will by far have the largest impact on China's economy, the property support package is more focused on helping the citizens. This package would include a 0.5% reduction on average interest rates for existing mortgages and cut the minimum down payment to just 15%. Looking to capital markets, the PBOC has announced a 500 billion yuan swap program to help investment funds and brokers have easier access to funding, and a 300 billion yuan loan program for commercial banks to help other entities buy shares or conduct share buybacks. All in all, this had a very strong impact on Asian markets, with stocks reaching a 2-year high. China has done a pretty good job so far dealing with inflation, and this stimulus may be the push they need to help recover their dwindling job market.
Microsoft announced its plan to invest $1.3 billion over the next 3 years to build up its cloud and AI infrastructure in Mexico. They see the country as a growth opportunity, and Microsoft said it aims to reach 5 million people and 30,000 businesses with this initiative. However, not everyone is so eager to be a part of Mexico's growth. Former President Donald Trump said he would place a 100% tariff on every car that comes through the southern border if he's elected. Moreover, Trump announced yesterday a plan to put a 200% tariff on all John Deere products if they move forward with their plan to shift more of their manufacturing operations to Mexico. The news initially led to a 2% sell-off in Deere stock before rebounding earlier today.
The FTC is expected to approve Chevron's $53 billion merger with Hess Corporation as soon as this week. The final hurdle would be an arbitration case filed by competitor ExxonMobil. You see, Hess's biggest asset is a stake in a huge oil field in Ghana, which is controlled by Exxon. Exxon claims they have the right of first refusal to buy Hess, but Chevron claims that does not apply here, saying the transaction is a merger rather than a purchase.
Caroline Ellison, former CEO of Alameda Research and key witness against Sam Bankman-Fried, was sentenced to 24 months in prison for her role in the FTX fraud case. Despite prosecutors recommending leniency due to her cooperation, Judge Lewis Kaplan imposed the prison term and ordered Ellison to forfeit $11 billion. This sentencing closes another chapter in the aftermath of FTX's collapse, which defrauded customers and investors of billions of dollars.
Elliott Investment Management is escalating its conflict with Southwest Airlines, announcing plans to call a special shareholder meeting as early as October 7th to overhaul the airline's executives. The hedge fund, which owns an 11% stake in Southwest, has launched a campaign to oust CEO Bob Jordan and other top executives, blaming them for the company's recent underperformance. In response to Elliott's pressure, Southwest recently announced that 6 directors would step down in November and executive chairman Gary Kelly would retire next year. But the company reiterated their support for CEO Bob Jordan. Elliott believes the leadership change is necessary and criticized the airline's current strategy as haphazard, saying it is driven by executives in self-preservation mode.
Looking at home builders, KB Homes reported strong Q3 earnings, with revenues increasing 10% year over year to $1.75 billion, and diluted earnings per share rising 13% to $2.04. The company delivered 3,631 homes, an 8% increase from the previous year. Despite experiencing variability in demand due to elevated mortgage rates and economic concerns. CEO Jeffrey Mesger noted improved net orders in August as rates moderated, and the company increased its investment in land acquisition and development by over 50% year over year to nearly $850 million, putting itself in a good position for future growth. Regardless, a drop in margins and slightly lower than expected future orders for 2024 dropped the company 6% in after hours.
Progress Software reported strong Q3 earnings today, with revenues of $178.7 million, up 2% year over year, and net income of $28.5 million, up almost 50% on the year. The CEO expressed excitement about the company's performance and announced the acquisition of ShareFile for $875 million, expected to close in the next couple months. The company raised its full year 2024 revenue outlook to $755 million and non-GAAP earnings per share to $4.85. This raised analyst confidence in the company and shot the stock up 5.2% in after hours. And if you're still watching, we want you to know that we really appreciate you. Thanks for watching Econ Recaps, and we hope you have a great night.